We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.
We are nothing sacred. With cruise control. We are nothing sacred.
Oh
boy.
Man.
It's been a while, folks. This is the Nothing Sacred show for the 15th of June 2020, the year of the apocalypse, or the year of sanity going out the fucking window.
This has been a shitty year,
when was
by the way.
by the way, I am Cruise Control.
Oh, and I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
When was the last show we did? It was like fucking April?
Fuck, I want to say it was like March something.
Oh, God, has it been that long?
Yeah, because it's all been interviews that we've been doing lately.
That's true. And
so, it's, I feel like we've been on vacation for a few months, and now we're just opening a bunch of mail.
I feel like we've been I thought we did something in April at least, but I guess we didn't. I didn't do anything.
I think so. I think our last show was in March, I want to say. I'll have to look back at the videos, but I'm pretty sure March was our last show, and then the rest of them have all been interviews, man.
Yeah, and speaking of interviews,
oh man, the Bob Kroll interview, man.
Yeah, that's the biggest interview we've ever had.
God, that thing has like 6,000 views on it. Which, by the way, I got a shout out to Empress Angel. I told her I would, even though she was one of the haters that was talking shit and saying that she was going to share our channel and like 30 Facebook groups and tell everybody what pieces of shit we are. Well, that worked out real good, didn't it? Because we got got some new subscribers.
Well, good. Well, welcome aboard. We can explain ourselves, and at least I'll explain myself. I don't have to explain myself for that interview because we interview people and just try to be somewhat neutral in those interviews. Like I believe when he mentioned Trump, I kind of steered away from that a little bit. I didn't go full Trumpoid, because I'm not really. I'm kind of trying to remain neutral. I'm not really a huge Trump fan. I'm not as against him because I know what the media has done. I know what the media does to and says about him, and just continues to distort the truth. But yeah, they a lot of bootlicker comments and things like that.
Oh yeah, comments. Well,
because we were supposed to drill him. We were supposed to drill him and grill him about his past instead of
about his horrible, evil. Yeah. Well, see, and I do like Trump. I'm just going to put that out there. I do like Trump. I think he's probably one of the best presidents we've had in a while because the other ones have just been shit, dude. From Bush to Obama, all those fuckers, man. Clinton, they all sucked. So this is like the first president that I was like, because, we didn't, for a long time I didn't vote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is going to be the first year that I'm actually like, you know what? I'm going to vote. So I do like Trump. But, a lot of these people were just a bunch of, hey, I'd rather be a fucking cop's bitch than a government's whore. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of these people are just these government cucks, which, oh, shit, we got to talk about COVID too, man.
Dude, there's so much, dude. Yeah, like, first of all, COVID is no longer a thing now because you can protest wherever you want. Man,
that's what's hilarious.
Dude,
you go to the beach, you get arrested, but you go out and protest. Oh, you're a patriot, dog.
So that's part of it. But starting with that video, just going over that, just as the videos we do, because both of us, regardless of what our political leanings are in a lot of ways, we are both pro first responder, pro law enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
Because these people, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I can't do the job that these people can do. These jobs are necessary. So this whole defunding police thing, too, as well. Unbelievable.
Oh, God, we're going into that, too.
It's just so we spotlight different people on different things. Now, Mr. Kroll's had some controversy in the past, and right now, obviously, he's having some serious controversy now. I think he may even be. They actually
asked him to step down.
Well, the unions are no longer in effect there, which might be a good thing, and that's a thing. We can have conversations about all that if we want to.
Right.
But we will still have police officers on here. In fact, we're having an interview coming up shortly.
Yes, we do.
To help with another foundation who's helping police officers. So we there's nothing wrong with, in my mind, being pro police, but also being pro reform because there's a balance there. and you can be pro-police and know that there are issues that need to be addressed, such as accountability and after the fact and certain things, and union issues that you can go into. There's a lot of stuff you can go into on that. So just because here's bottom line, this whole thing with this George, no one thinks the guy was fucking that it wasn't police brutality. I haven't met anyone.
That hasn't said, even police say it's police brutality.
Of course. Because it is. It was a wrongful death, and it shouldn't have happened. However, here's something to think about, everybody out there. I'm just going to go on a little moment here. Just come with me. What is the reason that it was a racist act?
There isn't one.
No. What is? Yes, exactly. Well, but what is the reason?
The cops were white and the guy was black.
Okay, but there's no racial. In terms,
there was no definitive thing to say that was racist.
The definitive thing that made the cop racist was the cop's skin color.
Right. That's all.
Because that's the only evidence you have about an actual racist. Now, police brutality, yes.
Totally.
But there's tons of stats we can get into about how there are more white people killed by cops every year and that kind of stuff, and unarmed white people killed by cops was like almost over double the amount of black people killed.
Right.
So a lot of things like that. 9 black people were killed in 2018 in terms of unarmed black people by cops, which is less than the amount of black people killed in the fucking riots that are happening.
Which is interesting, huh?
Yeah. And it's 3 times less than the amount of people killed last weekend in Chicago. Black people killed in Chicago last weekend, by the way. There were 23.
Wow. Oh, wow. And this is black on black shit, right?
Yeah. The Black Lives Matter. People don't want to talk about that.
Oh, no, of course not. Well, and if you bring up black on black crime, these people are so irrational now.
It's complete. That's. We were talking beforehand about a private issue going on.
Yes.
And I think that's part of the main problem is that there's no rationality. No one wants to look at different things. No one wants to, and everyone speaks for a group. Like you get black people going on saying, as a black person. No. As an individual.
As a person.
As an individual.
As a person.
So, yeah, I mean, there's so much to unpack here. Our country is fucked. I've said this for years. I've talked about the cracks in the walls. I've talked about, as we're watching and the cracks keep going as we're speaking. Dude, we're at walls falling down at this point, bro. We are. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And I've talked about this for years on the show. Anybody's listening. It's called RAID. It's Reasons America is Doomed. And one of those reasons is like I said, a lack of cohesivity. And they love it, man. They love it. There's targeting division going on here. And it's working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely working.
And it's very, I mean, okay, when it gets to the point, and, this is my little beef here, obviously, because my favorite shows, Live PD and Cops, they canceled them because supposedly they say they push racism, they glorify police officers. You ought to be happy you have a window into police work. Now you don't have that anymore.
Yeah. And they're shooting themselves in the foot, of course. That was like their highest rated show, Live PD.
Oh, which is, dumb as shit. They cancel that. And all the cop shows. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to be canceling DirecTV because all the shows I watch, obviously, are gone.
You're into that police shows, and they do show cops in a different light. And yes, most of the time it's positive. And what's wrong with that again? They're not supposed to show. That's another thing. They're not supposed to show police officers in a positive light now. Is that something? Because the 347 million interactions between police officers, 1,000 people died.
Yeah, it's
347 million interactions with police officers. Let's think about that for a second. Million a year, and 1,000 people died last year. Now,
that's a drop in the bucket, man.
Well, it's now. Does that mean that there shouldn't be reform to stop certain things happening?
Absolutely. But defunding the police department is not the answer to that shit.
No, and also vilifying them and making these people who are human beings who go out of their way to go into danger every day, and they go and do all these certain different things every day. And you think that because it seems like all these people that are asking for these things don't understand human nature. I mean,
almost like they're under a rock, right? Like
people
they're sheltered.
Are assholes. There are bad people out there, and I think one of the differences between a lot of liberals and a lot of conservatives is that conservatives will say there are bad people out there, while liberals will say everyone can be quote unquote saved, or everyone is good inside, and it's society that's making people, steal. Like, people don't steal because they're assholes. They steal because they don't have any other choice.
Right.
And sometimes
right.
that is the case, but a lot of times it's not. They do have a choice. Like, I gotta stand stealing a loaf of bread because you're damn starving, and you just fucking say, fuck it, I need to steal a loaf of bread because I'm fucking starving. It's a little bit different than stealing a fucking color TV because you're trying to go for racial justice.
Right, exactly, which is totally stupid. Now, actually, it's funny. There's a YouTuber I like called Good Luck America, and he was showing something from the '92 riots with Rodney King, and it was a black business owner, and these people were looting his store, and he's crying, and he's saying, "Hey, look, I am trying to pull myself out of this ghetto. I'm just like you. And I'm trying to make a better life for myself, and you people are taking it away from me." So this is what I'm saying, man. They're hurting their own kind, I guess, if you want to say. I don't like to say people. And
that's nothing. People of color, they lump everybody into this one
my
group.
My people. What was some tribal shit?
Yeah, and black community, because there is, I guess, a black community, but there's also just communities of poor people, is what I say. Because in those poor people, like in those, we know a few people out there who grew up in those poor.
Of course we
people.
do. We got
who are black, who aren't black, who are white.
Oh yeah, white, black, Mexican,
Asian,
whatever.
Yeah, there's a ton of people. But people want to associate all that poor with just one group because that's the mindset. That's why you got people like Bernie Sanders saying, we've gotta help the poor people, and white people too. It's like,
well, this is.
There are more poor white people in this country than there are poor black people, by far.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, man, these commies have really stepped it up this year, dude.
Oh, dude.
Seriously stepped it.
Yeah, well, and now
they want to create division. Look how much division they're creating now. It's fucking. And like we said, though, this is a very small minority of people that are involved in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing, the vocal minority.
Yep.
And I find it funny is that all these different identity groups, because that's my big thing, is identity politics. I'm going to go with, and I think you might agree with me in this case, in this way. This is why we're so pro individual, me and you. At least I am. I'm extreme individual. I think I'm definitely more.
Probably more so than me, even. Huh?
Yeah. Because you talk about CITES and stuff all the time, and I'm like,
like it kind of bothers you when I mention.
I don't like groupthink. I don't like the identity politics where just in general jump a bunch of people.
My big beef, one of my beefs with sighted people is they love to lump us in that category. And so that's why I'm like, okay, look, I'm an individual, not a fucking...
Exactly.
Not part of the blind community. They love to put you in the blind community.
And this is all my life. All my life, I have, quote unquote, Brett and I both can say this, and this is not a victim thing. This is a truth effect. Regardless of our skin color, no matter what kind of room. We go into a room where there's 60 black people and 3 white people. You go into a room where there's 80 white people and 3 black people. We are always the minority. We are always the 5%. As visually impaired people and disabled people. Yep. And it's a simple fact. And the reason, I'm just telling you why I'm such an individualist, because I have people that stare at me and have given me looks of pity before, because they think I represent something in their mind. So I've done it all my life, just distinguishing myself as an individual and going with that, because people have said they speak for me before as a blind person. No. We have similar things. We have similar experiences, right, Max?
Oh hell yeah, yeah, very similar.
In some ways, similar. Yes. In
some ways. I mean, there's some things as I will never get, because you're being visually impaired versus being completely blind. Yeah. We have different things that we run up against. So it's separate. So we're not the same.
Exactly. But people would say we are.
Of course they would.
And that's the thing. We might have certain things like, you ever hate when you have someone grab you and you don't want to be grabbed, and you're like, oh yeah, I hate that. But it's never we need to change people, because people only change when people only change when interacting with individuals. Like when someone grabs my arm, that's a stranger. I'm not gonna bother to try to fucking explain to them, why.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid.
But if someone does something around me that I know, you go, hey, just let you know this.
Right.
And then they go, oh, but they do as an interaction as an individual. And even if you know, it might be unreasonable. There are some fucking, that's what the problem is. There's unreasonable fucking, like, you need to address me. Every fucking place needs to be completely blind friendly. No, it doesn't, man. It doesn't. I'm sorry.
Well, it's like websites. You know, that's one issue I run up against that you don't, is accessibility issues sometimes with screen reading software. But, you know, I mean, it's annoying, and I just say, well, fuck you. I just won't use that website.
Yeah,
you know, that's all.
And you have to realize that some people don't have the resources to make everything as accommodating as you want them to. But my point is through all that is to explain why, as my lived experience, because that's another thing that's happening. If you're white, especially a white dude, your quote unquote lived experiences don't matter because they're not, you know, you're not oppressed, you're not, you know, dealing with a bunch of shit.
It's like, man. Which, speaking of which, I had one of the people on the Bob Kroll interview, one of the comments, you know, the guy was going off on the white privilege and the this and the that and whatever. So, dude, I threw the blind card at him. And I said, bro, so does that mean, I said, here's something you may not know unless you went back and listened to some of our shows, but I'm completely blind and have been since birth. So should I say you have sighted privilege? And basically, I hit him with that, dude. It's been crickets from his ass. I haven't heard shit.
Because you're gonna change the narrative. Like here's another reason why I can go with this identity politics for those people out there who are wondering, you know, why shouldn't you embrace your white privilege and all that stuff? Because it's such a overall insignificant thing. Yes, there are certain things as a white person I'm sure I haven't common with most of the white dudes, but get from my situation, there are many more that are not. Like here's an example of me. Let's say it might work with you. As you usually have a cane though, so let's just say me. I'm sitting at a bus stop, right? And I'm at a bus stop, and you're across the street, or let's say the average sighted person's across the street, and they see me sitting at a bus stop. Now, if you have the idea of white privilege, you're going to automatically assume certain things about me. But you see, you can't tell that I'm visually impaired. So You're watching me, and you go, oh, the white privilege and all this and all that. And then I take out a fucking book or whatever, and I look at it, and I fucking ram it in my face because I can't see it otherwise. And you go, oh, does that change my privilege? Am I 50% less privileged now that you know that I'm also a minority because I'm disabled?
And that's kind of how these people think. Oh, I see. Oh, you know, you're different. Okay, never mind. You don't have the white privilege. But their
first assumption should have been wrong in the first place because it was wrong. That should tell them that their ideas are wrong because they're judging me on something that they can't really calculate it. They can't give you a direct. That's why it's also all this privilege and all this institutional systemic racism and all these things that we can't actually quantify because when you look at the statistics, they don't really match. Out of 42 million black people, 9 were killed unarmed in 2018, and several of those you can explain. So let's get and then, you know, like I said, it's all hyperbole, it's all emotion, it's all getting people riled up because people don't want to be critical thinking.
Here's something that punches, and I didn't know this because I had to ask. I actually asked my brother this weekend because I was asking about George Soros, the guy who basically funds Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
he's white.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does this man with so much white privilege fund a movement for black people? How the fuck does he know what black people need and want?
Well, that's because, you know, because he has white privilege, I guess.
Well, that's what. So this punches a hole in all their bullshit, dude. It's like, okay, once again, black man, pull the white man's dick out of your ass, you know, because obviously,
a lot of black people aren't, and that's the problem too. Is that people get the assumption that all black people think like this. Because black people are telling this, like, oh, as a black person, no. What about Candace Owens and Larry Elders and Brandon Tatum and Young Ripa and all these people who even those people disagree. Young Ripa doesn't agree with Candace Owens. He thinks she's got some bad ideas. He's definitely less conservative than him. Larry Elders, Thomas Sowell, Clarence Thomas, who's a fucking Supreme Court justice, right?
Right.
Those people have different ideas than but they're, you know what, they're. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna watch this too. And maybe next time on the 19th, look out for a new documentary called Uncle Tom.
Oh shit.
It's
the 19th. Is that this Friday?
Yes, it's a documentary regarding conservative black voices or people.
Oh boy!
Because basically, it's talking about how they're ostracized and called, you know, Uncle Toms and
Uncle
Coons
Toms and
house,
Coons and shit.
house Negroes and that kind of stuff. Because
Yeah.
God forbid you are an individual and have different opinions.
And have your own thought
And there are a
process.
lot of people out there like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is
There are-
and
yeah.
that's the problem. Oh, and by the way, when I said, black man, you got the white man running I'm talking about the group thinky ass black dude. You know what I'm saying? That goes along with the bullshit
Yeah.
narrative of, Black Lives Matter, blah, 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 blah. Well, sorry, but Black Lives Matter is funded by a white guy. So
Yeah.
how much of a pro-black movement is it really?
If Black lives really matter, then you should be really, really upset that 12 or 13 black people died from the riots from the death of one person.
So they died at their own protest.
Well, they died. Yeah, they died. Well, they died. Looting David Dorn. Like that's what I ask people. That if you don't.
Oh, that's the police officer, isn't it?
Yeah, the police officer who died. 77-year-old guy trying to stop someone in a pawn shop gets shot and dies and bleeds out on a video.
Jesus
I want to
Christ.
ask all these people how many. Like I said before, I guarantee you a lot of people don't even know who that guy is. They don't even know who he is. These Black Lives Matter. You know who David Dorn is? Oh, he's a black guy who died from the riot, shot by another black guy looting a fucking pawn shop. Oh,
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. You didn't know who he was? Oh, yeah, because Black Lives really fucking
Black Lives Matter. You obviously killed another black man while doing your Black Lives Matter protest. That's
I mean,
really
you
productive.
killing people, but they don't. Like I said, they don't look into that and care. Or Patrick Underwood, he was a federal officer who was also killed as well. Then, like I said, there's at least 13 more people who have died who are black from these. That's more people than who were killed by cops in 2019, unarmed, 2018.
Isn't that amazing? But they'll never report.
Stunning.
They'll never talk about that.
Because it doesn't fit the divisive narrative. That's why the media is so trash.
Oh, yeah,
That's why it's
totally.
so sad when you see people that you think are really intelligent and that are actually aware of things just start saying some batshit stuff, man.
Oh yeah, and then you got these. Well, like we were talking about earlier, these networks that are licking ass, going, "Oh, let's do the right thing," because those people get angry. Let's pull these shows off these networks,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't want any discourse, So it's totally fucking. It's basically saying that these people are primitives and they're not smart enough to understand. That's liberal thinking. We've talked about that before.
It's the bias of lower expectations. It's
the
the idea where you're like, oh, we need to help these people out. Oh,
Yeah, these apes can't possibly think for
dude.
themselves.
Dude, and you see these fucking videos on God, I've had to unfollow a lot of people.
There's been a lot of social media distancing, I call it.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, I still have friends. I still friend them, but you can unfollow, and which means
Right, you don't have to
their
see
shit.
their posts. In other words,
Dude,
is
because
what you're saying.
it's constant preaching. You're like, oh, as a white person, I looked in the mirror and I started crying. I'm like, I don't fucking.
Oh God, I would have puked, dude, if I saw.
Dude, it's all over the place, dude. Like, you need to hear some resources on how to check your whiteness and understand your white fragility.
Oh God.
And then Amazon. Here's the thing. Another thing, which is why I know these protests and all this shit. I don't trust them worth a shit. What are all these corporations like fighting against this thing? Are these corporations that everyone fucking can't stand and thinks are ruining the world? What are they doing about this? Are they going? Oh, are we at the cops? Or, no. You got Amazon.com with ads for Kindle books about white fragility, and these are things to make you learn more about your white privilege.
Actually, I heard they sell T-shirts too that say "cops are bad" or "don't trust cops" or something like that.
Oh, well, Amazon sells those, but then they're banning certain books now. See, Amazon.
Great.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There we go, man. Censorship. Here it comes.
Well, of course, they took off Cops. They took off Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is no longer on HBO Max. They're going to retool and add some kind of trigger warning or something onto it. So,
Oh Jesus.
because it has slavery in it.
Well, and that's the whole thing now with taking down the statues. The Confederate. Hey, look, I don't necessarily agree with what they stand for, but they're necessary to have because it tells you about a time when things were different.
And it tells you, and people go, "Mommy, who is that?" Well, he was this. He was. And here's another thing, and this is a crazy, awful thought. Just because you had slaves doesn't mean you were necessarily otherwise an awful person. You could. I mean, like Thomas Jefferson had slaves, and he was the founder of our country. And now they're doing the same thing with his statue. His statue was pulled down in Eugene.
And he was a president.
Yeah, he was the founding father. He wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Right. Yes. So like.
But you got to understand what these people think. They think that this is a country based off slavery and based off oppression of black people. That's how our country got powerful, is because of the oppression of black people.
They need to move to somewhere in Africa. They can really see some oppression and racism and shit.
I don't know, but that's the whole idea. Fundamentally, America is a racist and an oppressive society, and therefore we need to destroy it fundamentally. That's what their aim is. Their aim is to destroy everything about the country, and so the way to do that is you make sure that everyone sees the country as inherently evil. Because if the country is inherently evil, and all of our systems are, especially our Constitution, what's the best way of destroying that evil?
Is taking everything down,
yes.
Everything that we remember,
destroying the Constitution. Yeah.
Yep, and that's where they're trying. And even all the going back to COVID again, all that stay home for Hitler shit they were doing, that's actually unconstitutional.
Of course.
You can't make somebody stay home,
and they loved them staying home. They were like, please stay home. When other people were protesting because they thought their rights are being infringed, they bashed them. All of a sudden, this comes up, and poof!
Well,
100,000 people sitting in fucking Washington Street.
And this is what I thought was crazy. My dad brought this up yesterday. A guy takes his family to the beach. Oh, they could get fined or arrested and all kinds of other shit. But, hey, you want to come out and riot? I mean, hey, man, you're a big American patriot.
In fact, they're waiving arresting on a lot of these cities. They're not arresting the rioters who they're saying you can because they're pro. Because remember, these are all Democratic cities, and that's another thing that I find laughable. All these people are talking about oppression and all these awful things, these awful cops. Dude, all these cities have been Democrat-ruled cities for 40, 50 years.
Right.
They've
so this Democrat rule stays in place.
So then you get mad at Trump and the Republicans? Dude, Minnesota's had a fucking Democratic majority for years.
Oh yeah, California. How long have they been? They've been Democratic for at least 20-something years, right?
Yeah, it's insane, man. It's insane, and now people are, like I said, it's tearing people up, tearing people apart. Not just people are like not talking to each other now because of politics more than ever before, and it's just so.
Yeah, like you got to watch yourself too, man. You know what you say as far as
people are getting fired for saying all lives matter instead of Black Lives Matter.
And isn't that crazy? So if you say you don't see race, you're considered racist.
Yes. Now, if you don't see race, you're considered racist. If you don't care, that's a thing. Like it used to be like I don't care. I don't care if I meet you as an individual, I'll notice your blackness. Like okay, you're black, or I'll notice you're a female or whatever the fuck you are.
But you don't care about it. It's not.
But in terms of as an individual. Yeah. If I say you don't care, now that's an offensive thing. Now we have to care. We got to care. We got to fucking want to learn about these fucking cultures and shit like that. And if you don't, then you're a bigot and you're automatically a racist. And
there was a thing that John would always say about liberals, where not only they always talk about tolerance. You have to be more tolerant, but they're the most intolerant bunch of motherfuckers. Matter of fact, any belief that goes against theirs, they want to wipe it out. They want to totally destroy it.
And they cancel it. They want to make you feel shame, because shame is the big thing now too.
Shame,
like you, how dare you not? And just the names of things are clever, all right? Because think about the name Black Lives Matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you say you're against Black Lives Matter,
oh, dude.
You don't think Black Lives Matter? Well, no, I just think they're an organization that is not standing for what you think they are, and I think they are a disingenuous organization. So you don't think Black Lives Matter? It's the same thing with pro-life. You're not pro-life. You don't believe that life. You're not pro-life.
Right.
It's like the abortion thing. It's a clever naming that allows you to have a moral high ground simply from the name.
Well, and the problem is, too, people don't see any gray areas.
Yeah.
It's either black or white, and that's the problem. It's like, dude, it's either A or B. Come on, man. There's some gray areas. And it's funny, where places where people should see gray areas, they don't. And then other things they see is, that when they are very black and white, they're like, well, no, there's some gray there.
Yeah.
But that's a liberal for you. They always twist around the fucking narrative. By the way, I've become very anti-liberal, especially since the COVID thing. Because all this shit that, with the staying home, these motherfuckers caused all this shit. Well, I don't want to say caused the fire.
Well, now they don't care. Now, like I said, as long as you're protesting something that they deem is acceptable, you can go out all you want, and it's even encouraged for you to go out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're out now. You can. Oh, okay. So COVID was going to kill grandma, but now since it's a subject that I am for, it's not going to kill grandma anymore. You go out and do that, or if it does kill grandma, it's worth it. See,
I was fighting for the
exactly. See, that's
cause.
the scariest part of this shit. Is these people actually believe that like the deaths that have happened from this are necessary because the cause, you know. Like that David Dorn's death, a lot of these people are like, yeah, they don't. The reason why they're not saying anything is because they think it's necessary to. Well, some you got to crack some eggs to make an omelet, right? You know.
Okay, but it's senseless. You know, this isn't like, you know, again, you know, I keep bringing up COVID, but you know, with the COVID thing, I thought for sure people were going to be rioting because it was something that affected everybody. Like, you're told you need to stay home. You're told you need to wear a mask. You know, this is the kind of shit I would think, you know, but people were handing their rights over left and right.
Yeah.
But yet, when it comes to this shit, you know, for all intents and purposes, I mean,
it's gone.
You don't know who George Floyd is. He doesn't affect you in any way, but you're out there rioting for this dude that you don't even know.
Well, yeah, because it gives them the endorphin rush when you're rioting, and it also allows you to feel like, you know, like I said, shame is a endorphin moving thing too. Oh, I'm absolving myself of all my sin. I do profess to my privilege. Oh, it's the same thing as sin. When you profess to your sins, you're absolved of those sins. So then
all of a sudden,
when you become an ally, quote unquote, which is a ridiculous term. This is a term that
ally.
Yeah, an ally to black people or an ally to gay people. You're an ally. You know.
Ally.
That's ally to women, like, you know, like if you're a man who's a male feminist, you're an ally.
Why is it everything a battle to these fucking people?
Because it's,
you know, everything.
It's all about power. That's why. It's all about power. It's all about power. It has nothing to do with anything else but power. It's about a power structure. It's called intersectionalism, and it's about these power structures and about this pyramid where the more powerful you are really depends on your victimhood. So like white people, since they are the most white males, since they're the most privileged people and they oppress everyone else, they are at the bottom of this rung, and they are considered the lowest of the low on this fucking intersectional pole. The black midget gay, you know, female, disabled, you know, whatever, trans person.
Right.
Is the top of the heap because they have all these fucking things, you know.
Right. They're so oppressed. Life is so hard for them, and we have to.
Yeah, it's an insane religious type of view because it's not based upon any actual substantive proof. It's based upon the idea that of this power structure. It's so yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. This is getting, like I said, and 2020 has been a shitty year. I will just say. Just the way things have gone, you know what I mean?
In terms of globally, yeah, it's been kind of shitty. But in terms of personally, I'm actually have a lot of good things to say so far.
I don't know, man. For me personally, there's been some annoying shit too. Some bullshitty things.
Well, for me, you know, I've got Earthling going on. By the way, 7 p.m. every Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Earthling music on Facebook. We are doing. Improvised comedy music based upon your suggestions, and you know, I won't be modest. We fucking rock. We're killer. We're funny as fuck.
Nice. Has the audience picked up a little bit?
No, same kind of. It's kind of most of the same people because, you know, Facebook's that way. Facebook's not a really good place for a lot of that kind of stuff to really grow your audience.
I'm surprised you guys don't get on YouTube, man, and start live. I mean, you can do.
Well, the problem with YouTube is that YouTube is very censoring. Like YouTube, if they hear something that you're doing during the live stream, they will stop you during the live stream.
Oh, they'll kill your live stream.
Yeah, they'll kill your live stream. So like with what we're doing, they're not killing our live stream. Now I'm going to put some more stuff up from the Earthling Encores. We do have an Earthling channel on YouTube. It's an Earthling Music. Also, we also have a song we're on Spotify.
Really?
We're everywhere. Yeah, if you go on Spotify, you can hear the library song. Our library song that we did for the Springfield Library is on Spotify. And you can follow us on Spotify as well. So Earthling Music is, and then of course we're going to come out with Grateful and other songs like How Did We Get Here that we've done.
Like original tracks, you guys.
You know, like great. Remember Grateful? I'm so grateful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, I do remember that. Actually, go ahead, man.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I'm doing a little something too, man. I'm writing a book, and it's called Memoir of a Starving Talk Show Host.
But you were starving?
Well, starving in the sense of, I mean, I never made money doing this shit.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I'm not trying to say I was oppressed. I was deputized. You know, nothing like that. When I say starving, I mean I never made money doing it.
Gotcha.
But I've still enjoyed it, and it's pretty much I'm going through, you know, as a kid how I got into recording, you know, doing music. I talked about the whole rap thing, talking a lot about, you know, the show in general, just a lot of cool shit. But I'll tell you, man, that book, it's kind of cool doing that. I've found myself kind of addicted to writing, and I think it's because purpose. Well, yeah, exactly. It kind of gets you out of social media fuck sandwich, you know, that you get slammed with all the time. You know, it kind of takes you back to a simpler time. You know, reliving those memories, both good and bad, you know, is kind of it's an escape. Well, honestly,
and that's the thing about social media. It's driving us insane as a society.
Because people are always attached to it,
and they're not only that, but they're always reaffirming their own biases, and they're always seeing the same thing in their own little comfort zone. Right. And also, I think it's the same thing. Like all this stuff happening now is a perfect storm because of something you said about having something to do. Like with this COVID virus, 40 million people out of work. Boom. You know, most people had to stay home. All of a sudden, this George Floyd thing's come along. And people just have all this pent-up energy. They don't have any purpose because they're not doing things like writing a book or doing a weekly improv performing show. You know,
or recording music.
Exactly.
Or doing any shit.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have that purpose. So this gives them that purpose and focuses them in this direction. And that's why this has caused everyone to go so batshit crazy, I think.
Well,
it's like a perfect storm.
It's sad people don't have hobbies, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really don't have hobbies anymore. No, like, you know, back in the day.
Yeah, they have social media.
That's their hobby. Yeah, social media and getting worked up and outraged about shit and, you know, whatever. You know, even my own brother is guilty of that shit. I was telling you yesterday, there was a situation where he got, you know, hey, that guy was looking at us and, you know, and it was a black guy and he looked like he wanted to fight. And it's just like, well, how does everywhere you go, it seems like, you know, and that's the other extreme of it too. Every ethnic person of ethnicity has an issue with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing, feeding into the crazy fucked up narrative.
It's a cycle. People address white people as if they owe them something. White people who have had rough lives themselves are going, wait a second, and they're saying, "Fuck you! You don't get to tell me what I think and how I think." You know,
right.
That's another thing that certain people are doing. Oh, white America feels this and does this and ignores this. I'm like, don't you speak for yourself? It's a power thing. That's what the power is. When you say as a black person or as a woman or you white people, you are placing power to a whole group. You're trying to grab the whole group's voice so you can speak with more than your own voice. Trying to hijack other people's opinions. Like, as a black person means I speak for black people, so my voice is really powerful. No. You speak for yourself.
Well, and what's bad too is you got you know, white apologists, people who get offended for other black people. You know, it's kind of you know, the SMJ thing, same thing where I say, you know, that you got sighted people getting offended for me. You know, it's like, what the fuck? It's like
they're white knighting you because they feel like you. It's like I said, bias of lower expectations. They're going to save you.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm your advocate.
Because you need to be saved because you are obviously, you know, not as
you can't help yourself.
You're not as privileged as I am.
Yeah, you need me. I because obviously you can't help yourself.
And that's another thing that a lot of people talk about. It's in a lot of the opposing view. Of a lot of the black people that I'm not using that term African American anymore because you're not African at all. You're American.
No, they're black. Yeah, you live here in America. Yeah. You are black.
You're black Americans, whatever. Yeah, or yeah. So, but they're like, you know, what was I saying? He was saying a lot of these people are saying, man, you're dying for white people's acceptance. Why don't you just fucking accept yourself and live yourself and don't worry about being accepted? Well, you need to listen to my problems. Hey, no, everyone has problems. You need to just focus on getting ahead. You need to listen. So what's the solution then? What do you want? Just listen. That's not a solution. That's you wanting me to fucking just pander to you and go, okay.
It's you needing validation is what it is.
Yeah, so what's the solution to, well, okay, so I've got a solution for black on black crime. How about more fathers in the, no, you're a racist. You're not supposed to say anything. Just listen. Okay, so we're not supposed to solve the problem. We're supposed to listen to you bitch about it.
Sounds like a woman. Same shit. You know, women do shit
Well,
like
it's
that.
just
I don't want you to
mentality.
fix it. I just want you to listen. You know, just like what you were
Yeah.
saying there.
Yeah, it's because to fix it here, that would cause your issues to go away, and then
Then you won't have an issue.
Then you lose the moral high ground. So that's
Right.
why you never hear LGBT, because right, they passed a major LGBT thing today. I guess the Supreme Court about discrimination, and the articles, of course, are major hurdle overcome equality, but there's still so much work to be done. But there's still so much work to be done. There's always going to be more work to be done.
I don't see much gay discrimination anymore. But okay, listen, I'm not a gay person, so I wouldn't know. So maybe I shouldn't talk. But at the same time, man, I mean, you see a lot of gay people in the workplace and just around.
Here's like what I was getting to before, like Amazon and all these companies. All right, yeah, no one. Gay people are so oppressed. They're so. But how many companies don't have a rainbow during this month as like part of their fucking campaign? How many people aren't doing the Rainbow Coalition Gay Pride Month? How many corporations are not doing that? Come on,
That's true.
Starbucks. How many corporations are not going out of their way for this Black Lives Matter and also for gay rights?
Oh, I did hear that about Starbucks. Actually, I heard if employees are wearing the clothes, they'll be.
No, they overturned that. They
Oh, did they?
Of course they did. They caved.
Man, I was big up in Starbucks for a minute.
No. Here's the reason why. In that case, I do not, because if they allow their people to wear Trump T-shirts or any other kind of T-shirts to express their political beliefs, then they should not block certain T-shirts, other T-shirts from being.
I see. Like one's okay, but the other is
now
not.
if they are blocking other ones, and their policy is you can't wear any political things on your T-shirts,
That's what I think it should be.
then then they say, well, you can wear Black Lives Matter. Then that's the fucking problem, because that's favoring a political belief over another.
Right.
But if
right.
they're allowing other political beliefs and then they stop but the Black Lives Matter thing, then that was wrong. But I don't think they did. I think most companies, they don't want you to wear political, slogans.
You shouldn't. I mean, that's kind of unprofessional anyway.
That's kind of the way I feel about it. I feel like that you
T-shirt.
shouldn't be wearing a Trump T-shirt in a Starbucks as an employee, and you shouldn't be wearing a Black Lives Matter T-shirt.
Fuck no. I mean, like if I went, to my job, if I had an outreach event or something, and I'm wearing my Cops for Trump T-shirt, that's no.
But most likely, what happened is that they had a policy that said no politics, so they banned people from wearing Black Lives Matter. The fucking victim mob rose up again, and Starbucks caved in and let them wear those specific shirt only, but not any other ones. So you can't wear a White Lives Matter T-shirt
or a Trump T-shirt
or whatever.
Wow. Well, see, that's it, man. Now, this goes the other extreme. Where, you can wear Black Lives Matter. Well, this still makes a political statement. What they need to say is across the board, no political anything here, because that's just unprofessional.
Because our customers should be any customers. And, and I don't want to go in there and see a MAGA hat on some fucker, and I want to go in there and see a Black Lives Matter hat on somebody.
Yeah, you don't want to alienate anybody.
I don't care. I mean, that's the thing. But people, there shouldn't be either one. But it's not the way it works, unfortunately. Twitter and all those things, they're all culture is all far left right now, man.
Yep, and everybody's kissing ass and trying to fit the narrative and all that other crazy shit.
All these fucking corporations that they rail against all the time are fucking bending over backwards, which scares the shit out of me. Like I said, man, fucking.
Oh yeah.
Oh, one other thing. I'm sorry, dude. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Dude, I have this little funny story about how and they eat their own, these leftist fucking organizations, because each group is not really for the whole. They're all for their own LGBTQ, whatever the fucking thing. They say they're for Black Lives Matter. And the same thing goes either way, but when the push comes to shove, they get into fights. Like, for instance,
of course,
there was a gay pride parade in Los Angeles, and they had to cancel it or do something with it because they were being criticized. The organizers of the gay pride parade were being criticized by Black Lives Matter for organizing and cooperating with the police so that their parade could have adequate protection for when they walked.
Oh,
so they were saying that they were working with the police and considering that Black Lives Matter or defund the police. Oh, that's bad. So I guess there's like little conflict.
Well, that's it. Nobody wants to work together. It's all about their little community, their little group thinking community. Nobody wants to be like, all right, man, we'll help you out. You help us out.
Unless
that kind of thing.
Think like them. You have to think exactly the same way.
See, and this is the problem with that what do they call that? Fractured thinking.
Groupthink? Not groupthink. Or it's
fractured. They're all broken off into different groups.
Identitarianism is basically what it is.
You know, it's like, well, you're never going to get anywhere being your little group or your community. You know, everybody's going to have to work together. Everybody. You know, this isn't not all minorities. Everybody's got to work together. I don't give a fuck who it is.
And that's the thing, man. That's the thing that this is kind of the sad thing that this is like hiding. Is that most of my daily activities, 90% of my daily interaction with every people of any color, 90% of them are just good.
Of course, mine is too.
Yeah.
I don't have any bad That's why when my brother tells his stories, I'm like, where are you going? Who are you dealing with?
Who is actually causing it, or who is actually instigating the suspicion?
Right. Well, obviously, if the common denominator is you, then maybe you're the cause of a lot of this shit. You know, of your issues that you have. Because I never run into those issues. You know, he's always talking about how bad my neighborhood is and how I should be careful. Matter of fact, just the other night, I was at the bar, and he's texted me. He's like, hey, man, are you around some people, man? Because, you know, a white guy with a shaved head is actually not very favorable right now. I'm like, bro, I'm good. Like, I got no problems. Nobody's going to fuck with me. You know, and I'm totally confident of that. You know, I'm not even scared of something like that.
Well, you can't be scared of that.
No.
It's like being scared of the virus in a way, being scared of a number of different things.
Something that's probably not going to happen, like a very small percentile, 1%, that it's going to happen. You know.
And here's the thing, you know, it's the same thing with black people might have this experience where they're afraid to go outside and afraid to walk down the street. But if you look at the actual evidence, the actual things that are going on, the white police officer is one of the last things you got to worry about. All right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just seriously, I mean, just be. No one can be honest about that though, because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't allow for the victimhood. Because if you actually looked at that problem and said, yeah, you need to have more intact families in your environment, and have more of a focus on certain things in your culture. Quote unquote black communities for it to thrive, or poor communities. I'd say poor communities.
Yeah.
Because,
well, yeah.
Because white. Go ahead, man.
They're all chewing each other up, man. They're like fish everybody wants to be the big fish.
Well, white people, the out of wedlock births for white people have grown to like 25%. So it's fucking high for white people too. It's obviously not as astronomically high as it is for the black community, but quote unquote black community. I keep saying that, but you know, for Black Americans.
Yes.
But those people are poor. Like, you got a lot of white people that live in those areas, but no one talks about them because they don't want to. It doesn't fit the narrative.
Right.
But there are a ton of white people that live in quote unquote black communities.
Well, and that's the reason for the narrative, you know, to separate and to segregate and put you in your own little box and put a label on you. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that's about. But shit, dude. Oh, one last little. Unless you got anything else.
No, man. I mean, I've been spitting, you know, just preaching for the last 45 minutes to an hour. So
one little thing here for me, and I told you off the air, but I got blocked on Facebook for a day. So, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I had a post about it was a pro law enforcement post, and I thought, well, shit, don't tell me that's what got me fucking blocked. But then they showed me the comment. You know, because it was like, this comment, only you can see it. You posted something, you know, that was offensive or whatever. Well, apparently, and I posted this like about a month or two ago, and I called somebody a repressed faggot or something like that, and they're just now flagging it. And I was just like, wow, man, what the fuck? So this is that kind of shit, you know?
Can't use certain words, man.
I see that, but it's just funny that it was. I said this. You know, I couldn't even remember when I said it, honestly. I don't even remember the context. All I saw was I was like, oh, yeah, I did say that at some point, but that was some time ago. You know, so now all of a sudden, you know, now it's become a big issue. Like, Big Brother, you're kind of late there, Big Brother.
Well, just watch out for more of that, because that might happen more and more. So.
Yeah. Well, even on here, you know, we're kind of watching ourselves a little bit, you know, more so than we used to, I think.
Oh, I've been doing that for a while now. Plus, also, it kind of goes with my philosophy. Like, just no real reason to, you know.
Well, yeah,
I'm not gonna fucking stop saying a certain word or a certain thing because, you know, if the word retard applies, like all this shit going on right now is completely retarded.
Oh, it's totally fucking retarded.
Yeah. But that could be a flag word, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to stop saying a fucking word like retarded because retarded means stupid. It's the same thing as saying stupid. Well, why don't you do stupid? Because retarded is a better word.
Retarded fits it better, you know.
It has a better mental fit in my mind than stupid or dumb does.
Exactly. And I'm not rolling with the PC cuck wagon, man. Sorry. You know?
It's idiotic. Don't say idiotic!
Now you're offending those who are mentally challenged or whatever. Fucking dumbass shit.
I love those kind of arguments because all they do is reinforce the fact that the person actually thinking that way is the person who's offended. Oh, my it's like, he's like, why did you say the word retarded? Because it means it's stupid. Well, my brother's fucking mentally challenged. Oh, so you think your brother's retarded?
So you think your brother's listening, is what you're saying.
Okay, so why did you associate retarded with your brother? Right. Like, here's another example. I was on an improv stage with somebody who, in here, and we were doing a scene. We were doing a "What are you doing?" scene, right?
Oh, okay.
And I said something ghettoized, and she stopped, and she was black, and she stopped, and she looked at me, and goes, And in the middle of the scene, and I was like, "Now hold on a second. Let's really break this fucking down here because I said ghettoized. Now for me,
does that mean all black people are
ghetto is a poor area, a poor neighborhood. I don't associate ghetto with black. I associate ghetto with poor or with Elvis Presley. We don't hear about any shuttle down little ghetto.
No, yeah, but you got fucking orderly homes, you know, or whatever. I mean,
ghetto is a poor area. Now,
right, it has nothing to do, and the fact that they've put themselves already into the category. You said ghetto, that must mean black. Well, that shows that
who's thinking of that and who's associating with what.
Right.
I didn't make the association. You made the association. First of all, for two reasons. You made the negative association, A, because I'm white and I said ghetto, and B, because you associated with being black. Because I didn't make it associated with black. I said ghetto. I didn't say like black ghetto. I said a ghetto, and you know.
Or hood. You didn't even say hood.
And I didn't even say hood, and I wouldn't have said hood because I don't associate. I associate hood with a quote unquote black ghetto because hood was coined by Boys in the Hood. The Boys in the Hood is always hard. That was always the way it was with NWA and them, man. It was the hood.
Exactly.
The
You
hood,
don't you don't see like broke ass white people going, well, I'll live in the hood.
Yeah.
You know.
No, they say fucking I live in the sticks or whatever or
the trailer park or whatever they call
trailer
it.
park, whatever. You know, you make those associations with people. But ghetto has never been associated with that to me. So she made that association and put the motive on me.
That's funny because obviously that shows you how she thinks. It's self-hatred, really.
Self-hatred, but also race. It's a racism. It's
a racism. It's her own racism.
Yeah,
it's built in. You know. Oh well, we're black ghetto. Like what? Nobody ever. That'd be like if somebody said retard around me and I got offended. Hey, I've been called retarded before. Well, I'm not retarded, so why should I get offended?
Yeah.
You know, where if the shoe
and your
fits.
brother isn't retarded; he's mentally challenged. You just said. Oh, so why are you making? Like I said, because in actuality, they do think that they do associate with that, and they get pissed off because they think you do as well.
Right. Well, you're bringing their thoughts to the forefront. Like,
and I do actually sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Dang.
Oh yeah, of course. We all do it,
man. Means, man. It's called association, man. People are being advised to fear their own thoughts, and
that's To think independently is dangerous now. You know, a lot of these people haven't had an independent thought in years. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why there may be certain people like. Honestly, I'll be honest. If we had Bob Kroll on again, I would definitely ask a couple of different questions. Just in light of this current situation, just say, hey, what do you think needs to be done in terms of this?
Right.
But when he was on, we asked him about general. We were very general in that conversation.
Right. Well, I thought it was a great interview. I mean, I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, I think he did a good job as well. I don't see anything negative in terms of what he said. Now, you know. You can say what you want about what you but the point was there was nothing. Not like we were talking about. Yeah, well, and he even mentioned. I remember in that video about just different tensions there. But the point is, we're going to continue to support police officers, and we're going to continue to support our first responders. So we're not going to be fucking. You want to call me a bootlicker or not? Yeah, I'll be calling the fucking 911 and not being a hypocrite while you're screaming for the police and then calling them fucking baby killers or whatever afterwards. The same thing as Vietnam, man.
Yeah, but these are the same people who love government aid and love, getting their commie checks. So, you know what? They can call me a cop's bitch or a bootlicker or whatever. But, who's licking the ass of the government? They love them some government aid, these people.
They also don't appreciate the fact that these human beings are going out and being in dangerous situations every day. And most of them do it because they believe in what they're doing. Otherwise, why the fuck would they be police officers when they could be fucking garbage,
Right.
Why the fuck
There's
would you
other,
make
or
60 grand a year doing that when you can make 60 grand a year doing something else?
Right, working for a big corporation or some other crazy shit, or something like that.
And there are those fucking bully cops who get into it for the, because they were, fucking have, whatever they want to call bullied when they were kids, and there are those fuckers too.
Of course.
But that's in everyday life, and most of those people are humans.
But there's assholes in every profession. Exactly. You get some cool waiters. You get some asshole waiters. Mm-hmm. You get some cool bus drivers. You get some shitty bus drivers. It's just what it is. You don't paint them all with the same brush, man.
The fact is, the scariest part is, and I'll let this go. I've just been on. Like I said, this has been a weird day for me. So I've been thinking about this really a lot. And I know I'm preaching about this, but the bottom line, man, is that we have to be able to communicate. We have to be able to talk to each other. And the fact is, even if I know I disagree with you or disagree with people, you cannot stop people from speaking, and you cannot ban people from your lives who are good people just because they don't meet your principles.
Right. Exactly. Well, it's almost like being a child.
Like not principle. Let me rephrase that. If they're good people to you and they've been there for you whenever you needed them, and they look around and you look and see what they do, and then they don't agree with you politically and you shun them from your lives, or just won't listen to them or shut down. Yeah.
That's wrong. Especially like you said, man, if it's somebody that's had your back this whole time, but because they don't agree with you 100%, it's actually a very childish reaction, to be honest with you. Oh, well, you don't like what I like? Well, you're not my friend no more.
Yeah, in that simplistic way. Yeah, because it's all or nothing, and that's the problem with these people, is that they will not listen to if you say, well, all lives matter. Oh no, you said all lives matter. Well, yeah, I don't like thinking in terms of one group of people, regardless of the group.
Right. Exactly. Well, goddamn, man.
We'll get more into this on our next. We're gonna have another one coming up, and I think I actually want to go into this with Patrick and with
with Andy tomorrow.
Yeah, we go into that because I believe he has some psychological background. We'll talk to him about that too.
Oh, definitely. Man.
But we're not going anywhere. We'll be around. And
matter of fact, you might get a double feature this week.
Yeah, and we'll get a double feature this week. And once again, we are proud to support our first responders.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Right. So if you have a problem with that, then okay, that's cool. Well, you can discuss it.
We appreciate all the support you still gave us.
Absolutely.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how people who hate us. I mean, we got a lot of people that like our show, but even the ones that love us didn't push us the way the ones that hate us did.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
And if you want to comment and discuss on what we're talking about in these shows down below, go ahead and do so.
Absolutely.
And
we welcome all comments. I mean, we're never gonna, unless somebody makes a physical threat, which nobody has. But whatever you got to say. I mean, you want to. Now, we prefer you want to have an adult discussion, and then we'll address you. But if you just want to start talking shit and be a troll,
then Max will address you in his own comments.
Then I'll handle you. Yeah. I'll handle you myself.
Because you're like, if you want to be that way, little fucking like come on, Max.
Oh, I'm down to handle those fuckers. You know me, man.
You love it. You're waiting for them, dude. Don't
if
lie.
They want to talk shit. I'm like, all right, I got you.
the drama creation king, man. Like, give
That's
it to
right,
me,
man. Well, somebody's got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn right. That's you. Me, I'm. That's moderation, man. That's me. That's why we work well together, man. Because you're
exactly.
I got to pull back on your leash, and then you got to drag me along sometimes.
Exactly. Nice analogy, man. I like that. Anyway, on that note, fuck sandwich.
This is the Nothing Sacred Show for the 15th of June, 2020, and during the apocalyptic year of our Lord. I am Cruise Control.
And I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
And that's the story there,
We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.